the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast. Delivering the latest opportunities in marketing to help your small business grow and prosper in a digital world.
Welcome back to the New Marketing for Your Small Business. I'm your host, Luke Porter with Moving Tree Media, and today we're continuing our series on LinkedIn tips to help you grow your network and your presence there. So far, in the last couple episodes, we talked about how to optimize your profile. We talked about the importance of posting valuable content. And in today's episode, we're going to dive into how to grow your network by finding and connecting with the right people. And then talk about LinkedIn messaging and a little bit on LinkedIn Premium, if it's worth it or not. Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off by talking about how to find the people in your target market. Because, I mean, you could connect with absolutely anyone and everyone on LinkedIn, but if you really wanted to make the most out of the platform, you're going to find those people that you want to do business with or partner with. So, and the good news about this is LinkedIn makes it pretty easy to find these people. For example, let's say you are trying to get a hold of the owners of small mom and pop restaurants or cafes. So you got that search bar up at the top of your screen. You could search for like small business owner or entrepreneur, but that's going to give you a whole lot of results that aren't related to restaurant. So if you search for restaurant owner, what's going to come up in the search results? LinkedIn's going to be like, oh, hey, did you mean restaurant owner in people, in groups, in companies? It's going to give you all sorts of different categories. So you want the people category. You click on that. And now at the top of the screen, you get some more options where you can filter this down by location. So for example, I'm recording this from Minneapolis. I can set it to just search for people in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area. You are still going to get a ton of results, but they're going to be narrowed down to those exact positions that you're looking for. And I'm going to talk about how to connect with these people specifically in a minute here. But I wanted to give you two more ways to find these people in your target market. So the second way is through LinkedIn groups. So this time you want to search for groups related to the industry. So to use the restaurant example again, you search for restaurants in LinkedIn groups and you're going to find all sorts of different groups and you just want to join the conversation. You'll find a ton of people who are active in this field. And if you join in the discussion as an expert in whatever it is you do that serves the restaurant industry, you'll position yourself as someone who's great to talk with and potentially someone to partner with. And the last method I wanted to mention is once you are already connected with people in that target market, again, let's just say restaurant owners here, check out their connections because the odds are they're already connected to other people in that industry, in that restaurant industry or whatever one you are targeting. So you can kind of use this as a jumping off point to expand your network. Now let's get into connection requests. Okay, so you found the right people, you want to connect with them, but the big mistake that I see a lot of people making is sending these long, detailed connection messages right off the bat. And I know it's tempting to want to introduce yourself and introduce your business right away, but here's the thing, there is so much spam on LinkedIn that your message can unintentionally come across as spammy. So what I recommend is actually sending blank connection requests. Yep, that's right, blank requests. So why would you make it blank? Well, LinkedIn is a networking platform, and I think most people on there understand that if you're reaching out to connect, it's not necessarily to sell something immediately. All you're saying with a blank request is, hey, I'd like to connect. So it's not a sales pitch. It keeps things very casual, and it allows you to start the relationship without putting pressure on the other person. I found it's much more likely for the other person to accept that connection request if it's blank. With all of that said, I think there are a few opportunities to send a message in that initial connection request if you have a common point of interest or a common connection point. Like let's say you're already in a networking group with this person's cousin, or maybe you went to the same high school together. Those kinds of things are so closely related that I think that is worth mentioning in a connection request right off the bat. Next, let's talk about messaging. Okay, so you've sent the blank connection request. They accepted it. What comes next? So the key with LinkedIn messaging is to start a conversation. Never go into a sales pitch. When you first message someone after connecting, focusing on getting to know them. Ask about their work, their recent projects. Find those mutual connections that you have and ask how you know that person. Talk about their recent posts on LinkedIn and how you found them interesting. So the goal is to build up that rapport and establish the relationship before you go any further with a sales pitch or some kind of proposal. LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's not a direct sales platform. And not only that, people can smell a sales pitch from a mile away, especially on LinkedIn. So focus on genuine conversations because you never know where it's going to go. Even if you don't do business with this person, just based on the great conversation you had with them, they might recommend you to someone else anyways. Finally, let's talk about LinkedIn Premium. So you might have seen the option to upgrade to LinkedIn Premium. They've got it on the site all over the place. It gives you some extra features like InMail, which is the ability to send messages to people you're not connected with. It gives you a few advanced search filters. You get the option to send a lot more messages and more connection requests than with a free account. But in my opinion, for most people, LinkedIn Premium is not necessary. Unless you are sending an absolute ton of messages, I'm talking over 100 a day, or if you're in a heavy sales role where you are finding yourself always needing to reach people outside of your network, you can get by just fine with the free version of LinkedIn. In fact, the vast majority of small business owners and professionals can achieve all of the goals we've talked about in these episodes without ever paying for premium. And the free version still allows you to connect with people in your industry, to go in the groups, basically all the stuff we've talked about so far on building your network. But if you are in a company where you're doing more of that large-scale mass outreach, then you might want to look into it. But for most small business owners, it's not necessary. So to sum up today's episode, start by finding those people in your target market. Use the search functions, narrow it down by job title. You can also go to LinkedIn groups. You can also check people's other connections. Those are all great ways to find these people to connect with. Second, when you connect with them, most of the time, send a blank connection request unless you have a strong common connection. Third, when you are messaging, focus on starting conversations and building relationships. Never jump right into a sales pitch or a proposal. And finally, LinkedIn Premium, not necessary for most of us unless you're doing some very heavy sales outreach. So I hope these tips help you to continue to build a strong and authentic LinkedIn network. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with others who might benefit. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.